How you doing? I'm Chris Thompson. Thanks for taking a look at this video. I really appreciate it. Today, we're here at Salsa Into Sub 2. I will be speaking on stage here in a little bit. There's some excellent speakers here already going on right now. The topic I'm covering is branding, which is basically a big overall view of what we do to make our stuff stand out. Whether it's our product, our service, anything under that umbrella, that's really what branding is. And that's what I'm here to talk about today. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Chris Thompson. I am a realtor, contractor, property manager, investor, private money lender, pretty much all things real estate I have done at least a little bit of. Today I am here to talk about branding and how I've been able to use it in my business to scale and more or less just brand recognition. So ultimately the goal with branding is when people think real estate, I want them to think of me and my team. So who here has social media? Liar.
I have it, I don't use it, but I have it.
All right, it's fair. Fair enough. Fair point. Fair point. So, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, all of the big ones. So I post a video every day, 5 days a week, and I am about 90% consistent with that. If I'm out of town, I'm horrible at keeping up with it, but I am taking steps to make sure that they are just more automated and they get out on a truly consistent basis. Who here has seen my videos? A couple people. How do I open every video?
Hey guys, Chris Thompson.
Good morning, and you gotta get the, yeah. Good morning, this is Chris Thompson, how you doing? Every single video. That's my slogan, that is my introduction for everything. If it's in the afternoon, it's good afternoon, how you doing? I am Chris Thompson. Quick clip of that real quick. Good afternoon, how you doing? I am Chris Thompson. I have the most beautiful woman here right here. That is my amazing wife. She is here at our Salsa Into Sub 2 event. I am super excited, and I will be speaking on stage here in a couple hours. First time, biggest audience, slightly nervous. So, just a quick little rundown of what I was talking about. Every single time, morning or afternoon. Good morning, how you doing? Good afternoon, how you doing? I am Chris Thompson. Every single video I post, that is part of my brand. I've had plenty of clients, friends, shoot me a text, hey, I saw your video, and then they would text out the good, like 800 O's in quotes, and be like, you really got a hold of that one. I'm like, yeah, all right, well, at least I know you're watching. And that ultimately is social media, just putting more and more eyes on it. So let's talk about branding. The dictionary definition. Branding is the process of creating a distinct identity for the business in the mind of your target audience and customers. So what does that mean? You're not selling your product or service, you're selling the emotion of whatever it is that you're trying to sell. It involves creating a company name, logo, visuals, designs, mission statements, tone, pitch, voice, quality of the product or service, customer service, pricing. So a couple of different ideas on logos. I have relogoed, rebranded a lot over the last handful of years. Can we dim the lights again, please? So, for those of you who do know, I used to work for my dad as a residential realtor. I've been in real estate for 17 years. Everything was Rick Thompson and team. Worked for him for many, many years. I bought him out almost 6 years ago. Once he told me that he was retiring, I rebranded with very similar to this logo, except it was Rick and Chris Thompson team. So that's how I started to mesh the two with the same brand. I ran that for 2 years, one while he was still in the business, one after he had already retired and left the business. After that, I changed it over to just this logo. Keeping the same brand, keeping the same look, giving everybody the same visuals, and we still had the same slogan. Your home sold in 29 days guaranteed. That was our program we ran for about 5 years. Worked really well. Then I started to get a little more creative. Came up with a fix and list program where I would help people fix and sell their own house. For anybody that knows novations, I was doing novations before I even knew what a novation was. Helping the seller, partnering with the seller, and making them more money, but also making money in the process myself. With this fix and list program, we were able to get paid 3 times on one deal. I also own a construction company. So I would come in, bring the construction team, design all of the renovations. Most stuff was very minimal, so it wasn't a whole lot of the major renovations. A lot of it flooring and carpet, some minor plumbing stuff, but I would also finance that through my construction company. We would take a deposit, finance that until closing. But then also I would get a ready-to-go listing as a residential listing agent. So I would get paid on the construction, the financing, and the sale of the property. So being able to tie the 2 brands together of my construction company with my retail real estate company, that drew everything together. Then when I got into Sub 2 a year and a half ago, I rebranded again, offering traditional and creative real estate services. So tying everything back in together, still keeping with the same general logo, expanding it a little more. So I use this one for all of my real estate stuff, or excuse me, my retail real estate stuff. Look familiar? What's different about these 2 logos?
No Remax.
I took off the Remax, I took off the Realtor logo, and I took off the Equal Housing logo. The 3 things that I have to have in all of my ads and all of my branding as a retail realtor. Investing, I don't need any of that stuff. And most recently, I had teamed up with 2 of these gentlemen in the audience right here, and we created the Dominators. So, new logo, again. BJ created this one, it's awesome, but we are the Western Maryland Dominators. How do we tie that reference in? What's the deal with the bomb? WMD, Weapons of Mass Destruction. So tying our brand into something that a lot of people know to create a visual, but also create a reference of, okay, these 2 things tie together. A lot of people see it, but don't necessarily put the two together. No different than when I just explained it. I saw a bunch of light bulbs go off and be like, oh yeah, oh, that does make sense. So subconsciously, you're already thinking of that before you even really know about it. So those are the different logos that I've been successful with. So does that kind of review everything that I've covered previously? Covering the service, the product, the brand. Everything ties back to the brand. I use one of those logos at the end of every one of my daily videos. Whether I'm talking retail, whether I'm talking investing, or I'm talking about our other investment group that I have these partners with. A brand is a product or a business that has a distinct identity in the participation of the consumer. So we're obviously trying to get more consumers, more clients to come to us to use our product or service. Obviously, we're talking real estate here, so it's more of a service. What can we do for people? It's not about us, it's what we can do for them. No different than if we're negotiating a contract. It's not about me, me, me. It's about making the deal work and making it a win-win on both sides. But to get to that step, you have to have a brand. What does your brand do for you? It produces relatability, reliability, mostly credibility. If you have a logo, people think you're credible.
Is your beard part of your brand?
It is. A lot of people know me by my beard. It changes lengths. I was talking with Eddie earlier and he's like, you kind of make me want to grow my beard back out. And I'm like, oh, I just took 3 inches off of this, knowing that I was coming to speak here. So I'm like, I got to clean it up a little bit. Another thing with my brand, people who know me, I dressed up really special for you guys today. I have my wife to thank for that. Don't thank me, thank my wife. When it's warm, every single time when I have to put a nice outfit on, we have the same exact argument, it goes the same exact way. It's comical at this point. But typically, yes, and I always end up in the outfit. Typically, Fishing shirts, shorts, flip-flops, or a pair of fishing shoes when it's warm out. Winter, boots, jeans, a hoodie. If I'm dressing up, I'll put a flannel on. But that is me. So biggest thing with brand, be yourself. Because ultimately, no matter what we're selling, a product or a service, you have to sell yourself first. You have to make that brand ingrained in people's memory. When people think real estate, I want them to think Chris Thompson. I want them to think Western Maryland Dominators. That is the main goal for branding. Going back to what I just said, branding. It's about the business, it's not about me. No different than negotiating a deal, it's about the service or product and what it can do for that potential client. Find the bunnies. Same thing that Pace has taught us all, find the bunnies. If you find the bunnies, you find the answer, or at least the question that in our world, that seller has to give us the opportunity to solve that for them. What are some of the biggest brands out there? Pepsi, Pace. Pepsi's had the same circle-ish blue and red and white logo for as long as I can remember, and probably even further than that. Anybody in real estate investing deep enough? What's this mean? This is Pace, sub 2. Everybody knows what this means. Pretty much everybody in this room knows what this means, and that's why we're all here. That's his brand, and he's done a really, really good job at promoting it. Everybody in sub 2, as soon as you sign up, you get a hat. Why? To brand you. Not just for his business and his mentorship and all that stuff, but it's to brand our community. And that's what he's created, is a community behind that brand. So the rule of threes, powerful communication tools make your brand memorable. The human brain works in patterns using the rule of three. You make it easy to remember your brand. Here's how you use it. So use 3 acts to create a story. 1 is the setup, where you introduce the characters, as Pace would say, you lay out the runway. 2, confrontation. You present the challenge or present the challenges. That's where we find the bunnies. 3 is the resolution. We resolve the conflict with a solution. So using the rule of 3, also use a 3-word slogan. Think about Nike, just do it. McDonald's, I'm loving it. Something short and sweet that as soon as I said it, I saw everyone's eyes go, oh yeah. You don't think about it, it's all in your subconscious. Going a little bit deeper on that, Coca-Cola, they don't sell soda. They sell happiness, they sell friendship, they sell connection. Dove soap, they don't sell soap. They sell self-esteem, beauty, kindness. Bottom line, you don't sell a product, you sell your emotion. So thank you all for listening. I really appreciate it. And I kind of want to open it up to Q&A.
How much time do you spend on content creation?
How much time do I spend on content creation?
On one video.
For one video, I would say for one 30 to 60 second video, probably 3 hours. Between coming up with the idea, filming it, editing it, and posting it. Overall posting, creating the video and posting, I've got that down to about an hour now. There's all kinds of different apps. I'm actually in process of switching because I think there's a better one. I've been using InShot and I'm switching over to CapCut. InShot is mobile only and I want to get off of mobile and get more back to a desktop because I think that puts me in a better frame if I'm sitting in front of a computer versus sitting on the couch. I think it just works better for me. Your question was Matterpoint, is it worth it? So Matterpoint is a 3D, for those who don't know, is a 3D special camera that literally takes a 3D everything of the house as you walk through it. I started doing videos about 4 or 5 years ago. Matterpoint was one of the big ones that I was looking at. So I ended up going down the video route versus the 3D route. I think it holds a lot of weight. I think it is very productive. And for people that don't want to get on video or just don't like video, I think that's a great alternative. So I don't think necessarily one or the other. It's really just whatever you're more comfortable with, but I do think it is a great product, absolutely. Tom?
How do you structure your posts? Is it just random like ideas or subjects? Like structure?
So pretty much all of my daily videos are what I'm doing that day. Sometimes I have a lot of content and the video I'm posting was from something I shot 2 weeks ago. If I'm light on content, then it could have been, I posted it today. Like the video I just showed, I literally posted as I'm walking in 2 hours ago. So it really just depends. If I have a new listing coming up on the retail side of stuff, that's what I'm more focused on. And I'll set other stuff off to the side. If I'm working on, for example, our Power Hour group, every single Saturday, I do pretty much the same thing. I try to change it up a little bit. One of the biggest things that I've found extremely helpful is putting a little music to it. Very light, nothing crazy, nothing overpowering, but more so to just put in that soft little touch of soft in the background, basically. What's that?
Yeah, when you mentioned 3 hours, I just wanted to jump off a cliff. So.
It does get better, and the more repetition you do with it, the easier it becomes. I post on 7 different social media networks.
So, I used to be back in social media back in the day when I had a little business and I needed a business, so that was fine. But at the end of the day, starting out in this business, what's the best, most uncomplicated way to start branding yourself? Because there's no way I'm going to spend an hour or 2 or 3 on video editing. Like, just that alone right there, I'm already shit. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm already,
So you don't have to get into it as deep as I do. You just have to start. No different than making your first cold call. No different than posting any video. I know BJ just started doing it. Just do it. They're gonna be horrible. Just flat out, they're gonna be horrible. But if you take that action and consistently do it, they get better. You build a following. I have people that I probably haven't talked to in 20 years. If I bring one of my kids on an appointment, I get 4 times the amount of response on that video because I open up part of my personal life. I'm not just a robot on social media talking about real estate all the time. Yes, I talk about real estate 99% of the time, but that's what my pages are designed to do. That's my service that I'm trying to sell. But I love fishing. I'll post a video about fishing every once in a while, but I'll sprinkle in little bits and pieces of my personal life to show that yes, I'm human, I am relatable. Anybody with kids, anybody into fishing, just general stuff like that.
How many deals have you gotten as a result of your social media engagements?
Yeah, like what KPI you have to take?
I have 0 KPIs to tell me how accurate that is. I would say in the last 2 years, I can guarantee I've gotten 5 clients from it. One client actually went from, hey, I just want to buy a traditional regular condo, you know investing, great, let's do it. They are now one of my private money lenders. So it's all relationships, it's all branding, and it all draws back to your brand. My brand is real estate. Yes, I'm a family man. Yes, I'm into real estate. Yes, I have some other hobbies. Brand. I have a huge beard that I just trimmed 3 inches off. It was a whole lot bigger. Anybody else? Yes?
Design this, or did you happen to grow it and it looks good?
This takes just as much work, or how did I get the beard, or how do I keep the beard? Lots of oil, lots of grooming, and today I even blow dry it.
Wooden comb? When I had mine long, wooden was different.
Oh my goodness.
Plastic.
Do I use a wooden comb? Is that a serious question? Absolutely, I have 2 wooden combs. Yes. If you use the plastic comb, it rips your beard hair out. You gotta use the wood one. And the more oil that soaks into it, the better they are.
More powerful than you think. Maybe more than 5 clients.
Absolutely. So, and there again, I don't have the KPIs set up to truly follow that. So that is one of the things that I am lacking on, that with partnering, I have been able to kind of separate myself from as much in the business and more on the business. And that has been extremely helpful. And the more time that I get to do that, then I'll be able to track those KPIs a whole lot better.
You mentioned you posted on 7 social media platforms.
Yes.
What ones are they? 'Cause I'm only familiar with like 3.
Some of them are, so Instagram, Facebook Business, Facebook Personal, TikTok, Rumble, YouTube, LinkedIn, and Truth. I try to cover everything. Some of those last couple,
Most of those.
Is there an app that, I think there's an app that it does it all for you? Do you use that?
I believe that's called like Hootsuite or something like that. I've used that in the past, and I learned very quickly that yes, it is a simple way to broadcast it across many different platforms, and it takes like a third of the time. The downside to that, if you're not posting on each individual one the way that they like it, then the algorithms are not pushing your post towards the top. So I've learned that through trial and error. It's a great app, it's a great implication, and it's an easy way to broadcast across many different platforms with 1 or 2 clicks of a button.
But also your voice isn't the same as that you use, so how I would communicate in Facebook isn't the same way that I'm going to communicate on Instagram, which isn't the same way that I'm, so it has
Correct.
a generic feel when you do it, so you just really can't have that, you know what I mean?
Correct.
That's the only thing about them, since I use them.
You have
Some-
a social media manager, I thought you said one.
Yeah, you're looking at them. So getting to tracking my KPIs better, once I get to a certain point, I don't know where that point's going to be, I am going to delegate out making and creating those videos. The hardest part to that is kind of my bread and butter, and that is what has gotten my brand to where it is. So it's hard to let go of that, but I know that's one of the steps that I need to take to be able to scale more. So I'll still shoot them all myself. Most everything. Good morning, how you doing? Every day. Every day. What got me into video in general was my retail listings. Kind of looked at it as, and right when the Matterpoint came out, it was, all right, do I spend money on Matterpoint or do I do more videos? I went the video route, obviously, but how I got started with video, one of my old lacrosse players, I used to coach lacrosse, he was all into video, and I'd watch some of his stuff on Instagram, just him and his friends out snowboarding, wakeboarding, just stuff. I called him one day and I was like, hey, let's sit down and talk. All right, so we sat down and talked. Hey, I want to start doing videos. Would you be interested in doing them? Awesome. And that's how I started doing videos about 4 or 5 years ago. The daily video stuff I started doing about 3 years ago. The hardest part to that is getting over the fear of yourself. What are people going to think? What are people going to say? Who cares? I make fun of myself on half the stuff I see. Sometimes I post stuff just because I fumbled so much. I do have a couple blooper reels. But because I post so much and a lot of it flows the way it's supposed to, people also want to see that you're human. Humans make mistakes. So I created a couple blooper reels. I get 4 times the response on the blooper reels than I do on everything else. And he's like, you fell on your face on that one. And you're like, you're right, I did. Somebody else post that, please, quick. Just start pumping my stuff more towards the top. One thing that I think can't think of the right word, but I am recently verified now on Instagram. I got that cool little blue check. But that's 3 or 4 years of nonstop post. Another one of the big things, hashtags. Hashtags are huge on some apps. Some apps, they don't want them. Facebook owns Instagram. Instagram loves hashtags. Facebook hates them. If you put a bunch of hashtags in Instagram, your stuff will get pushed closer to the top. If you put hashtags on Facebook, you're going down. Outside of like 1 or 2, Instagram, you can post 30. So it's knowing each different app, which falls back to your question, Tom, of, can you use that? Absolutely, you can. and it's a great way to do it. But each app has its own separate algorithm that works best for what they're producing. Anybody else?
I had another quick question.
Yeah.
So I heard you were on Rumble. I know Rumble's pretty popular now. Are you, and I guess the same thing with YouTube, are you posting more of like the Instagrammable, short form content, or do you do, I might have missed that in the beginning, do you do the longer form content as well?
Not as much as I should. Most of my videos are 30 to 60 seconds.
And you still post that stuff on?
I still post it on Rumble. I still post it on LinkedIn, across the board. One thing that I do want to get to is having one 5-minute clip for YouTube, for Rumble, some more of the longer form content. But I also want to have that short little 30 or 60 second on Instagram or Facebook saying, hey, go check out my YouTube or my Rumble for the full video. It's on the horizon. I just haven't cleared enough stuff off my plate to be able to focus more on that, which is another reason why I haven't outsourced it. I'm still figuring out how I want it done, because if it doesn't come from you, it doesn't come from within, it's not real, and people will be able to tell that. So that's one of the things, going back to how I typically dress. People know it's me. One thing that my lovely wife stopped doing, but my friends still do, I spell stuff wrong all the time. I spell check it 3-4 times, grammar check it, and it's still wrong. It's part of it. But I'm relatable. Like, I'll have some friends text me. I think Brian texted me not too long ago and was like, you might want to go check that, because I read it 4 times and I have no idea what you were trying to say. Your video is great, but your comments below, I got nothing. And he was accurate. I tried to use voice text. Horrible idea. Horrible idea. And I was in a rush, so I didn't have time to proofread. Always make sure you have time to proofread. If you don't, just stop. If everyone knows you as doing things perfect by the book, great. Wait. If they know you as kind of a squirrel brain, it's okay. It's part of it. Legend in the house.
I don't have any major ones, I guess. What are some of the most effective ways that you talked about that have gotten results or gotten clients?
Number one thing I think is logo. Slogan, very similar to like Nike, just do it. 3-word slogan, very short, sweet, something that's memorable. But every one of us, as soon as a swoosh shows up on TV, everybody knows what that is. Everybody. Coke, Pepsi, same thing. So the bigger the brand, the more the same it really stays. Every major corporation changes their logo roughly every 10 years, but it's still the basic same. Pepsi's had that same goofy looking circle with red, white, and blue forever. Coke, very similar. Pace, everybody knows what this is. Seriously, a peace sign. That is the logo behind, and now I think it's over 10,000 people community. That's awesome. Anybody in real estate investing enough knows what that is. Thank you all for coming. I hope it was informative. All right, get out.